On the earth of Freixo, also known as ash tree, the sun beats continuously, opening the system of this Herdade estate. Nature is highly skilled, and this is one of its great ability, transforming matter. Nature continues to repeat patiently, everything has a specific role. In this millenarium concert, we might think we can direct, we can just observe, and if we are lucky enough to see the part we are designed to take, we realize actually we are out of tune, and to get in tuned, we have to listen first.
My name is Alfredo and I'm now 49 years old. I'm living here in this farm for 25 years more or less, and I'm a farmer. It's called Herdade do Freixo do Meio, and it's in Portugal in a region called Alentejo. We crop and we harvest more or less all the Mediterranean diet except the fish. So it's a huge mosaic of crops where you have the different animals like pigs or sheep or goat or cows or broilers or turkey, chicken for eggs. But then we grow green vegetables, cereals, leguminosas, rice, also fruits like the olive or the grape, but other fruits and pastures. So it's a little bit small quantities of a lot of products. We started organic farming in 1966. Our first approach to organics was really an approach of looking for organics as a differentiation process. Of course, organic it's this, but it's much more than this. It's a philosophy that tells you that you are more and more independent in the way that you understand the dependence that you have for all other beings. A vision that we have here that mainly a farmer must not be only focused on producing food, because whenever he's trying to produce food or another raw material, wanted or not, he's touching a lot of other things that are really important for everybody, like environmental things like soil or water or biodiversity or emissions, but also social things like labor, like the quality of the food. So if you want to do a good job, you have to manage all these things. Without humans, you cannot do this approach of managing an ecosystem more than creating factories to produce whatever. And people allows you to grow a community somehow, and so there is all these things are mixed together and create a whole organism or a whole integral reality.
Meu nome é Ofélia Madaleno, ajudo nos hortícolas, trabalho há 8 anos cá Esta é a minha colega e chefa das hortícolas, chama-se Anabela, trabalha cá há 12 anos. Produzimos várias coisas na agricultura, como a selga, a couve, cenoura, alho francês, cebolinho, também semeamos abóbora. O que é que a gente faz mais?
Oh, filha, tanta coisa, batata, fazemos
Batata.
fazemos a germinação das plantas.
Então, eu sou Maria Manuela, trabalho aqui nesta empresa há aproximadamente quase 13 anos. Gosto muito aqui de trabalhar, como sempre. Faço aqui várias coisas, onde uma é a minha área é a cozinha. Sou responsável por a cozinha, faço aqui várias comidas, onde faço também para grupos que vêm aqui à Herdade visitar, sou eu que faço a comida. Além disso, faço mais também sopas para vender numa loja em Lisboa. Faço croquetes, faço empadas e faço neste momento também a comida para os voluntários.
Olá, eu sou a Edith, trabalho aqui no Freixo há 9 anos. E a minha função aqui é a transformação de vegetais. Faço de tudo um pouco, agora neste caso estou a fazer o pão ralado. Fazemos massas de tomate, polpas de tomate, massas de pimentão. Fazemos transformação de muitas coisas aqui.
Meu nome é Laurida Begalinha, trabalho aqui no Freixo há 12 anos, gosto de aqui trabalhar, das pessoas, sou amiga das pessoas, do patrão, de toda a gente, conduz tudo muito bem. Trabalho aqui na hortinha, na parte do jardim e por as limpezas, mais ou menos isto, um pouquinho de cada.
Eu sou Manuel Samarrinha, sou mecânico, trabalho há 22 anos nesta empresa.
Meu nome é Alexandre, estou aqui a trabalhar um máximo 4, 5 anos, sou tratador de animais e tenho um projeto com uma vaca de produção de leite e mais ou menos trato de animais, trabalhos com trator.
My name is Gustavo. I've worked here for 1 year and I'm a livestock technician, which involves animal feeding, breeding and welfare.
Ora, chamo-me aqui José Morteira Cacheiro, trabalho há 8 anos aqui no Freixo do Meio, adoro trabalhar aqui, faço um pouco de tudo. Nós fazemos um fiambre que é excelente, fatiar carne, desmanchar animais, fazemos enchidos, um pouco de tudo. Eu penso que o biológico que é das coisas boas que vai ser desenvolvido sobre o país e que a lutarmos por isso é o que eu tenho a dizer sobre isso.
Olá, sou a Paula, trabalho aqui na salsicharia, faço parte da desmancha, fatiar e estou a trabalhar aqui há 14 anos.
Sou Cidália, trabalho aqui na salsicharia, nos preparados, nos enchidos, há 14 anos. E gosto muito de trabalhar aqui.
My name is Christoph. I came here in November 2014 to help at this farm. I'm working in the garden, in the butchery, and sometimes I treat animals.
My name is Rianne van der Brink. I work here since more than 1.5 years. I take care of the bakery, so I bake the bread. We make 3 kinds of breads here in the bakery. And beside that I make the cakes, so the cakes, 3 kinds of cakes, some small cakes, some cookies. And beside that I look after the volunteers. I'm responsible for the volunteers on the farm.
Hello, I'm Dan. And I'm Jeroen. We are 2 ecology students who do an internship at Herdade, the Freixo, the Meio. We work here, but we also do our own research to compare cultivated areas with the wild areas here. We did it with camera traps. We put camera traps in different positions so we can see the difference between the population of the animals.
Well, we got a lot of species on camera. The first one you'll see is a family of wild boar. There are 7 of them here, and they're really common in this area. At the fall they will eat all the acorns that fall from the trees. The next picture is from a genet cat and a stone marten. They're interacting here because we put down prey and they both want to eat. So they'll try to find out which one is the stronger one. The next one is the Montpellier snake. It's a pretty large snake, up to 2 meters, and it occurs really common here. We found like 7 or 8 in the past few weeks. Then the next one is a red kite. It's one of the larger bird of prey here. You see him flapping his wings really good on this picture. It's really nice. And then the last one is a wild cat. Alfredo, the owner, did a project with releasing rabbits so the wild cat population would grow, and now this is the first one in 4 years that is found here, so we're really happy about that.
And our conclusion of our research is that the density of predators is bigger or higher at wild spaces, but all the predators we found there are also found in the Montado. So we can say that this is a really good system to produce food for humans, but also to give wildlife a place and
keep the system going.
Exactly.
What we are trying to do here for some years, it's returning to a very old approach that we called here Montado. Montado, it's a very, very interesting and nice story because it's a story of an agroecosystem that was slowly developed by the men in these tough and hard conditions in the Mediterranean. It's really a good example of a productive ecosystem. So mainly the men observed and understood how nature was working here and adapt by domestication, by planning new ecosystems, introducing slowly different domestic beings, animals and plants, in order to obtain what the man needed and what the ecosystem, the natural ecosystem could not provide. Like in the beginning it was mainly space for building small houses, energy for heating especially, and food. We could do better than nature. It's a very nice story because of this. This ecosystem, it's providing more food, more energy, more biodiversity, also things that are important for the planet. And the man started to change it slowly. and it transforms it in agroflorist structure. With at least 3 levels, trees, bushes and pastures, and inside of this structure and around this structure there is a very complex mosaic of crops where the animals play some functions and some roles, the plants play another functions. And why does this work? Mainly because of 3 things. First, cooperation, like in nature, symbiosis process. A pig can help a soil, the soil can help, of course, all the crops and the trees. The tree can pump water from the phreatic in the summer and create a wet area to the microorganisms, and the microorganisms help the trees, and it never ends. So cooperation. Second, ecofunctionality. If you have different beings and you in an ecosystem approach, you are looking for the beings mainly for the whole functions that they can provide to the system, not only, for instance, looking for the pig has a meat producer machine. He can do a lot of other things. It's true that producing meat, it's also a function because it's belonging to a food chain, but it can do a lot of other functions, not only belong to a food chain, and that's the approach. So, for instance, if you have only cows, you can only take the biggest part of the pasture. You have sheep, you can eat a little bit more. If you have turkeys, you can eat the small leaf and the insect that is behind. If you have pigs, they can eat behind. So if you have different instruments, you can use it better, the resources. Third, managing the risk. In the beginning, climateric risk. If you do only tomato in a climate like this, you can have maybe luck the first year. The second year you will pay the bills with the money that the results of the first year, and in the third year you suicide, because it's impossible to have 3 years with good conditions for one crop. So if you have a lot of crops, you play for the media. So 1 year you have good olives and less lambs, the next year you have the contrary, and the media, it's always working.
This is for you, 2013. I think this was interesting. Okay, here in Freixo we produce our own seeds, like for example, as from this flower that is dried. It's important to produce your own seeds to control the quality at first, and also saves money, and you know where our seeds are from, or yeah.
Farming only only looks for the creation part and don't manage the decomposing, the other part of the cycle. That means when the substances aggregate and form a plant and an animal and so on, that's the first part of the cycle, and then we have the second part of the cycle, that is the decomposing process. We have to take care also about this. The horn, it's important that it's a more than 2-year cow. You can see that because of these rings. The first ring starts in 1 year, and if you can identify the rings, you can see by the horn the age of the animal. This cow died with more than 18 years. It's perfect. What we are using here, it's not the horn, it's the shape of the horn. That it's in the inspiration of Rudolf Steiner. It's perfect to keep the forces, the forces, the energy from the soil, the earth and the cosmos, and transform this material in 6 months. That's really incredible. It suffers a metamorphosis, and what we take out, it's completely different than what we put in.
And this, it is in the end, it's a preparate 500, call it like that, that it's more or less entering in the third principle of biodynamic agriculture. That is that with some energetic preparates you can help to develop some process like compost or a soil. This is used to spray a little bit in the soil and to help us to orientate the soils, to develop, to grow in the right way. There is this relation between sheet, soil and microorganisms. Only work the land with copper. There is a lot of things related with copper and soil. Copper is a very good thing for soil.
We mix it. It's good that we don't take only one. And then we fill the horn.
When we are doing this preparate, what we are mainly picking is energy in this material that we will put and dynamize in water and put again in the soil. And this energy can orientate the soil to grow not only faster but in the right direction. For instance, it can develop good, develop bad, or faster, slower, and it's a help, it's an orientation. Now we wait. These are the preparates for compost. It's the rest of oak, skin, lion tooth and urtiga. These are mainly vegetable preparates. That's the final result. It's a colloid. It's not anymore a type of structure, semi-liquid that was put it inside. And this is the 500 preparate that we then will dynamize. % of our nectar you can, in some cultures, just orientate the soil with this small quantity. What we call a spiritual science, because it was test, but at the beginning it was not testing and formulating a thesis and then searching for it's true or not. It starts with an inspiration of a man, that's Rudolf Steiner. It's not rational, it's feeling, but then there are a lot of, well, at least 3 very serious institutions in this planet that are testing all these, and the results are incredible. So it really works.
The complexity between the different animal species, the vegetables cultures, they are all connected with each other. For example, we use the leftovers from the vegetable production, from the vegetable processing. Those leftovers, we can use it for animal feeding. The pigs can use it really well. Another example is olive pulp, which is the leftover from our own olive oil production. We grow those sprouts to feed the animals also. It's a nice way to grow the wheat, the grains of wheat, for example. We can do also with barley or another cereal. Just giving water, just watering those grains, they will sprout, and the sprouts are rich in vitamins, in protein, and we can get a bigger amount than if we only give the grain to the animals. If we watering those grains and if we ate 10 days just with water, it's almost a miracle, because we have the sprouts growing, and with 1 kilo we can grow almost 7 kilos of sprouts.
We use fish powder to fertilize the land, and just in small amounts as a booster in animal feeding.
We use it for chicken, for the small turkeys, for pigs, and we use it only when they are growing, because it's a feeding that it's rich in protein. It has high levels of protein with high biological value. So we are using a leftover that it's a problem from the industry. So we are using that leftovers to improve our feeding. It's a recyclage of a byproduct. Trying to make compost, we need aerobic fermentation, so it needs oxygen. It needs to be moved. If we have a compost pile with no pigs, we need to move the pile with a tractor to get some air inside, to get the fermentation occurs properly. If we have pigs in there, they do that work for us. We don't need to waste money in fuel to have a tractor digging the compost pile and moving it. The pigs will do it for us, because naturally they have the behavior of digging, and they dig the compost and get the air in there. And while they are there, their manure, it's getting the compost even more rich, because it has nitrogen, it has nutrients that will stay there and get a rich compost for us, and that accelerates the process. The goose came here to protect the turkeys. Geese are actually aggressive to predators. They are really protective of their group. And being with the turkeys, it's a way to keep apart the predators. We use the chicken, for example, with fences that we can move to graze the weeds close to the garden beds. They are helping us, and they are also fertilizing the soil around. And it will help the chickens, because they will get a diversity of food that will improve their meat quality as well. Usually we take animals to slaughtering each week, 1 day a week. Usually at Mondays we kill some pigs, some cows, some lambs, also chicken and turkey. A small amount of animals each week, because we need fresh meat every week in the store. Eating organic meat, it's buying a product that is sustainable, that is raised in the proper conditions, that help us to maintain this landscape as it is. It's not destroying landscape, it's building landscape over here. And that's why this meat, it's good.
If we can be only farmers, we will only be farmers. But to go on with this farming system, we were forced to do 4 things more: processing, wholesale distribution, retail sale, and then touristical didactical services. This organic meat, it's less expensive in costs, in real costs, than the other. But the economy allows that you have a customer price lower in conventional meat, for instance, than in organic meat. And why? Because our economy, it's done by us. It's the way we rule our house. So I can forgot to put in the equation a lot of things, and that's what is happening. Some things we are paying indirectly, like labor, like unemployment. If you have organic meat, you have more employment. Here you have less employment, but you are not paying this in the moment that you buy in the supermarket. You are paying this problem generated by the system that you choose by indirect taxes. If we don't allow people to get information, to be consciousness, we don't have consumers. So we have to all the time pass this information, and the best way is open the doors of the farm and create events and bring people here.
Açúcares e das gorduras é a farinha de bolota. É umas bolachinhas que vamos poder provar esta tarde na mostra.
If you want to manage, design, plan ecosystems, human ecosystems, agroecosystems, you need people, because people are part of the ecosystem, or should be part of the ecosystem, as all the other beings. So if you don't have people, it's impossible. We decided to open projects that were completely independent, dreamed by their own, but complementary to our work. It's like in nature. In nature you have cooperation and you have competition. You have always both. And both are completely important. There are two opposite poles that push you. It's like the good and the bad, or the earth and the sun, or the man and the woman. It's always the same. So opposite poles that will create a vibration and create a movement that it's life, that it's development.
So my name is André. I work in the Freixo do Meio project as a beekeeper. We try to develop synergy with the Freixo project and other independent projects, and create a lot of products from the beehive, like honey, wax, swarms, queen bees, royal jelly, and assorted products. So we have been here for 3 years. We created 3 bee places in a total of about 50 to 60 beehives, and this covers the whole Freixo farm.
So my name is Carlos. I live here with my wife Caterina and 2 kids since March 2011, and we are developing here a permaculture project which includes a keyline orchard with more than 1,600 trees of several species and varieties that we planted in 2013 and 14. It's a project that includes a lot of techniques from permaculture and regenerative agriculture.
My name is Mafalda. I am here for 3 years and a half, and I am developing a project with medicinal herbs, aromatic and medicinal herbs. I am developing a project that is building a garden with 20 different species. And I grow them, I take care of the garden, I dry the herbs, and I sell them on the market.
Olá, my name is David Figueira, and my project here at Freixo do Meio is to create a horse riding school. I give lessons, horse riding tours in the Montado. The goal is to create an experience where the people can respect the horse and enjoy the beautiful landscape at Freixo do Meio. I also do Doma Natural here at Freixo. Doma Natural, it's breaking the horse without violence. The second part of my project is to create conditions for the sustainability of the natural reservation of Surraias that Freixo do Meio has in Ribatejo.
We made what we called the Val de Zebro refugee of the Soraya. This means that it's a considerable area with more or less 400 hectares, and it's an agro-ecosystem like here, but with less influence of the men than we are running here, and they live there as wild. We are talking about probably less than 2,000 animals a total of this breed in the world. Original strikes, nowadays they don't have so much, they have only 1, 2 here, different individuals, but especially here. And also they have a different head, completely different from almost all the horses. And they really are convinced that is the more ancestral horse in the planet. Ancestral means that it's the basic point alive where you start the domestication process. For instance, the dog, it's probably the first domestic animal. It's starting the dingo. That's a wild animal, not a domestic animal. The project is mainly keep a pool of genes without pressing it too much. And if you lose the original genes, and you lose it when we are pressing for domestication, you lose the original material. So it shows somehow that probably the beginning of the domestication was starting from here. To make a real pool of genes, you must do it not in a different ecosystem, but in the natural ecosystem of this being that was in Portugal. We are making sometimes some studies. We are catching them and identifying them with an individual number that you can read with a digital thing, but it's an identification process. And at the same time we are taking some hairs to see the genetics of each one. And so we decided to put all the horses not available but known in the official book of the breed, and that will probably turn this project more usable, especially in terms of research. So when you go there and you see all this nature and the horses are part of the nature, it's also a very nice landscape that we use it for ourselves, but we think that we could share it with other people also. So it's really an amazing experience, riding a horse between these horses in this ecosystem where they're born free and they live free.
This chain that makes the landscape is even more beautiful than its ever-changing result. It's a fair of associations, of interdependence, that doesn't even discriminate stones. We should look at the complex chain of organisms and beings and move it without breaking any relation, but even allowing more of them to be created. We are making a lot of noise in this symphony. Let's do our part honestly. Let's be more than farmers and more than consumers. For we are contiguous to everything in our environment, and our life is suspended on the chain we are moving with our choices.